Imagine buying a crumbling hole in a cliff, no electricity, no plumbing, no roof to speak of, and turning it into a home so stunning it ends up on national television. That's not a fantasy. A man in England did exactly that with an 800-year-old abandoned cave, and by the time he was done, he'd spent over 1,000 hours breaking rock with his bare hands. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much it costs to turn solid rock into a livable home, the engineering secrets that keep a cave from collapsing on you while you sleep, and the one surprising detail about this house's location that connects it to one of the most famous fantasy worlds ever written. Before we go inside, hit that like button and subscribe if you love seeing abandoned spaces transformed into incredible homes, and drop a comment telling me, would you actually live inside solid rock? Now let's step inside. A health scare that changed everything. This story starts with a man named Angelo Mastropietro. In 2007, he was living a high-powered life running a recruitment company in Australia until a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis left him temporarily paralyzed. That moment forced him to rethink everything about how he was living. The search for a simpler life, so he moved back to his home county in England and went looking for something radically different from a corner office. What he found was a 700 to 800-year-old cave dwelling in the Wire Forest, abandoned since families stopped living there in the 1940s, and the site reverted to nature by the early 1960s. Not just one story, a whole movement, and he's far from alone. Around the world, people are choosing rock-integrated and cave homes for the same reasons. Incredible natural insulation, a deep sense of connection to the land, and the simple thrill of owning something no one else has. In Larkspur, Colorado, another homeowner built an entire house around a 45-foot-tall, 200-million-year-old red rock formation, turning a massive boulder into the literal centerpiece of the living room. Carving a floor plan out of solid rock, you can't just knock down a wall and add an extension when your house is a mountain. Every room in Angelo's cave, now called the Rock House Retreat, had to be excavated by hand, following the natural shape of the sandstone. The finished home has 5 rooms, including vaulted ceilings, an inglenook fireplace, and decorative stone nooks that were carved roughly 300 years ago by earlier occupants. Smart use of every inch inside. It doesn't feel like a hole in the ground, it feels like a boutique hotel. There's a king-size bed, a fitted shaker-style kitchen, underfloor heating, and a cozy snug decorated in a warm, earthy style, all wrapped in walls that are literally hundreds of millions of years old. Bringing the outside and outside, an 80-foot terrace wraps around the cliff face, and the property sits on 3 acres of woodland beside a babbling brook, giving the home an indoor-outdoor flow that most conventional houses can only dream of. When the Rock is the room in Colorado, the design challenge was different but just as creative. Instead of carving space out of a hillside, builders wrapped a full 4-story home around an existing boulder, letting the 45-foot rock rise straight through the living areas as a structural and visual anchor, with 2,432 square feet of finished living space, including a primary suite, guest suite, den, and office. Step 1. Know your rock before anyone touches a chisel. A project like this needs a full geotechnical survey. Engineers have to understand the rock's composition, its stability, and how water moves around and through it, because the wrong assumption here isn't just expensive, it's dangerous. The real enemy isn't collapse, it's moisture. The biggest ongoing challenge in any rock or cave home isn't the walls falling in its water. Surrounding stone and earth act like a giant sponge, so builders rely on multi-layered waterproofing membranes, French drains to carry groundwater away from the structure, and sometimes a sump pump to keep everything dry. Breathing room airflow matters just as much. Traditional cave dwellings use chimneys and carefully placed openings to create natural ventilation, while modern versions add mechanical systems like heat recovery ventilators to keep air fresh without losing all that natural insulation the rock provides, sealing out the wildlife. And it's not just water and air you have to manage. At the Colorado Rock House, the homeowners had the boulder professionally sealed with an epoxy coating specifically to keep pests from moving in through the natural cracks and crevices. Built to last, built to code with the right structural engineering, rock and cave homes can even be designed to hold up against seismic activity, proof that with enough expertise, ancient stone and modern safety standards can absolutely coexist. The price of turning rock into a home: Angelo spent roughly £162,000, about $204,000, transforming the abandoned cave into the finished Rock House Retreat. And that number doesn't even count the physical toll. He personally logged around 1,000 hours just breaking and excavating rock, removing an estimated 70 to 80 tons of stone by hand, buying the rock itself before any of that renovation work even started. He purchased the cave and surrounding land for around $90,000, meaning the total investment, land included, landed somewhere near $300,000 for a completely one-of-a-kind property. And what rock homes are worth today on the other end of the spectrum, that Colorado rock house recently hit the market for just under $1 million, with the surrounding neighborhood averaging around $300 per square foot. Proof that a home built around raw stone isn't a novelty that loses value, it's a genuine luxury asset. A name that was basically destiny. Here's a detail that gives us chills. Angelo's last name, Mastropietro, translates from Italian to Master of the Stone. He didn't just stumble into this project in a strange way. It was written into his name. The Tolkien connection. The wire forest cliffs surrounding this cave are widely believed to be one of the landscapes that inspired J.R.R. Tolkien's writing, the same rolling, ancient woodland that helped shape the world of the Shire and the Lord of the Rings. Kevin MacLeod, the host of Grand Designs, even compared the finished home to a hobbit house when he featured it on the show. From abandoned ruin to national TV star, this project became so well known that it was later selected as one of just 5 homes out of 180 featured across the entire history of Grand Designs. For a special anniversary episode celebrating 20 years of the show. It didn't stop at home. Today, the Rock House Retreat operates as a luxury holiday rental, and Angelo has hosted festivals, bushcraft events, and even a DJ set on the property, all inside and around a cave that had been sitting empty for over 50 years. The ugliest house in America, that sold for almost $1 million, and that Colorado rock house? It was actually featured on HGTV's Ugliest House in America. One of its owners even admitted the exterior looks more like a jail than a home. And yet, it still commanded a price tag pushing $1 million because unique, it turns out, sells. From an abandoned, forgotten cave in an English forest to a luxury retreat featured on national television, this is proof that with enough vision, patience, and honestly, 1,000 hours of manual labor, even solid rock can become a home worth dreaming about. Whether it's hand-carved sandstone in Worcestershire or a boulder rising straight through a living room in Colorado, these homes prove that abandoned doesn't have to mean unlivable. It can mean unfinished potential. So here's what I want to know. Could you actually live inside solid rock, or is this one step too far outside your comfort zone? Drop your honest answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this transformation, make sure you're subscribed, because we cover incredible tiny homes and barndominiums just like this one every single day.